Hand in hand with syllabus.8 is syllabus.9, which we are looking at interfaith dialogue. You have to evaluate or make a judgment as to its importance in multi-faith Australia. Okay, so if you look at the syllabus, the Border Studies keyword associated with this syllabus, you are making a judgment as to its importance in Australia. Why do we have it? Why is it needed? Yeah? Think of that as your framework as you're answering these kind of questions. The main thing about interfaith dialogue that you need to understand, okay, so ecumenism was between different variants in Christianity. Interfaith is literally between different faiths or between different religious traditions. It is not about converting everyone to one. It's not about all the Christians trying to make everyone Christian, or all the Buddhists trying to make everyone Buddhist, or all the Hindus trying to make everyone Hindu. It is not about conversion, but respect. If you can remember anything, remember that sentence. It is engaging in discussions, open dialogue, conversations regarding mutual understanding, mutual respect. It is not an attempt to unify different traditions, so to make them one, but focuses on respecting the diversity of beliefs, but trying to find some core commonality between different religious traditions. There's examples in Australia. I've given some really old ones. In a moment, I'm going to show you some really new ones, but these are really old ones. In 1996, John Paul II held an interfaith prayer service in the Domain. In 2001, churches and synagogues and mosques in Sydney held reciprocal visits to pray and express for unity, 2001 being the time around September 11. After the Boxing Day tsunami and the Bali bombings, further ceremonies happened that had whole lots of different traditions coming together: Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism, Hinduism, people uniting in commonality to express and show that while they may be from different religious traditions with different beliefs, they were open to a level of mutual respect and mutual understanding, and they wanted to show themselves as a unified force with a common good, and that good being the betterment of the human race. Here's a really famous photo that was taken at an interfaith initiative that has different representatives from all major religious traditions and minor religious traditions coming together, not as different traditions, not all trying to be one, not saying, yep, we're all going to convert to Buddhism, it's the best, not trying to convert other people, but trying to find commonality amongst their traditions so they can somehow move forward. The most recent example that is topical for Australia is these photos which were taken at Lakemba Mosque in 2014. These are representatives of Sydney's Jewish, Muslim and Christian population. These men, along with their faith communities, assembled at Lakemba Mosque. Not as a sign or not as a place of Muslim worship, but a place where different members of different faith communities could come and pray. This is a sign of unification. This is also a sign that events that had rocked Sydney on this day were not religious, that had no place in these religious traditions within the Sydney community. These men on this night were not Islamic men, were not Jewish men and Christian men. They were not communities gathered together with their leaders as Jews, as Muslims and as Christians, but they were people of faith who came together to find their commonality in a time of disaster rather than their difference. This is what interfaith dialogue is all about. Its importance within Australia is the key part of this dot point, and you have to do evaluating or making judgment as to why interfaith dialogue is so important. And I think all of these examples previously discussed talk about it. Why is it important? Australia is a multicultural, multi-faith society. Our society is experiencing a phenomenon in the last 10 years of global terrorism. of mediums which easily and quickly communicate these atrocities. And at these times, it is so incredibly important to not be people of difference, to not be people of religious difference, to not be people that are shaken by fear and xenophobia and prejudice, but people who can come together and share the commonality amongst their faith. That these are different ways of understanding how to live peacefully with one another, to explain that yes, while I have a different God, we are essentially have the same idea of reality and how we came to be. That while I might be a Jew, I might be a Christian, or I might be a Muslim, we are all formed as part of this. We're all Abrahamic traditions. We all come from the same area, and we can find commonality. And it is in finding commonality that we are stronger rather than weaker. We are not converting each other to different faiths, but we are strong in our understanding, and therefore in uniting together as different religious communities, we are far stronger than we are separate.